Very interesting, this one, Greg. And
Good
Jerome
match,
took
good
it,
match.
but he had to work, didn't he?
He
He
did
really
have
had
to
to
work.
work.
It took a while to get going, to get Joe's distance, but clearly you can feel that Jerome is now just feeling his way into the fight. Joe will have to go back, speak to his coach, identify what he'll do right and wrong as well there.
Moving on, group number 1, match 3, we'll see Johnny Gilmore face Ali Nioni.
So next up in red, Johnny Gilmore, Ali Nioni in blue. And they'll have seen two very good opening bouts, as we said, if they decided to watch or if they were just relaxing. But it really is bubbling now, Greg.
It is. It's really sort of gaining momentum now. Johnny, really good international there. They're both the same way. Weight, I understand that Ali's down from Bathway, from Southwark. He's a Zimbabwean international, so he's got the experience there. So it's going to be an interesting match.
The thing we can see immediately, though, is, unlike the first two bouts, a real height difference between the two here. Very much more compact, Ali.
Definitely, but I don't think there's too much of a difference in weight. So they've got to work out pretty quickly how they're going to fight their opponent. Johnny needs to work his distance, so he needs to make sure that he is able to work his length. Ali needs to really start moving around a bit more and break the line, so he's able to actually cut down the angles that he's fighting Johnny at. Good, as you can see there, Johnny used great time in there and his distance.
Well, that's the problem for Ali. You mentioned it's the distancing. When he gets into far off his work, if Johnny's timing is right, it's going to be a hard night for him, isn't it?
Yeah, he can't be going straight. He's got to go from a line. So that means breaking off and then attacking. Otherwise, Johnny will pick him up. He's a seasoned fighter, as he's just done there again. So he's got his timing's very good, and his target.
And again, psychologically, Greg, to be on fire and getting your timing early and everything else going right early really bodes you well as you go through these knockout stages.
Definitely. And what you've also got is a fighter in Johnny who has got good composure. You don't see him fluttered by anything. He's very level in his movement and in his expression. Very measured. Got great composure.
And again, Ali very busy. But for me at the moment, for Ali, it's about range and timing. It's not quite there.
Definitely is. I mean, Johnny's is better, but both of them are missing a lot of opportunities. I mean, Malcolm, fundamentally, you need target, you need timing, you need technique, you need intensity. More or less in that order. And they need to really, there's a lot of intensity there, but they're missing the target, and their timing is just a little bit off, especially with Ali. Johnny's is good with his front hand, but he's relying on it a bit too much. He's longer, and he's got to actually maximise that distance with his legs and hands.
Now Ali looking
again,
to the judges there, but it looks like Johnny's going to get the point once more. No.
Yep, no point scored there.
Probably the tightest of the three opening rounds so far.
Definitely the tightest.
And Greg, is it for the reasons you've said? Both men just slightly off with their timing at the moment.
Slightly off with their timing and their target. Target is the most important thing. No matter how good your timing is, if your target's wrong, you're going to miss. So their targeting must be much more clinical and much more focused. And then the timing and all the other stuff will make a difference. But they're missing their target to get in. They're throwing a lot of techniques, but the actual delivery at the last point is just not right. It could just be first fight nerves, so that's fine. But this is not an environment to have first fight nerves.
No, not that sort of environment at all. As you said earlier,
the
way it's set up and everything, and with the raised tatami mat and the crowd so close, you've got to come to terms with that straight away, haven't you?
Very much so. You've got to just literally have been warmed up, mentally in the right place, and good to go. Every fight is a final. If you think like that, then your mind will be in the right way. You can't be thinking first round, second round, semi-final. With the quality of the opponents here, every fight's a final. And the ability to maintain that sort of level of concentration is important. Again, Punch is thrown. Ali is thrown wildly. They're missing his target. Again, great intensity, poor focus. He needs to look for his target, and referees warned him there and hit it. He just needs to settle down. If his coaches need to settle him down and just get him to focus.
Well, you mentioned about how cool Johnny Gilmore is. The lead referee looked to see his face. He was okay. And he just winked at him and said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Cool as they come.
He is composed. He's a composed fighter. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he could literally just be waiting now for Ali to come. Ali's going to come, and he could time him out of a good body punch. But he's actually just looking to score head punches. He needs to hit to the body. Ali's going to come. He can do that cleanly.
Well, he took it, but as I said, probably the most difficult of the round so far for either man. And he will have, as much as you said, that he's cool and you really think he's a good prospect. He's got to step up his game next round, hasn't he?
Yes, he definitely has. He needs to just get find his target better. His timing was fine. It's the target that he fell a little bit short on there.
But that's also part of the art, Greg. If you're not quite firing on all cylinders, but you still win, it's that momentum again, isn't it?
And that's the composure. That's the importance of composure when you're fighting. Even if it's not going well, you win. Like the best football teams.
Well, our final Group 1 now is Yves Martial Tadisi and Devonte Waters. Now, either of these young men you could see as the semi-finalist. I mean, this is a just this matchup sums up the 10K, and this is the first round, Greg.
Definitely. I mean, the great quality in Yves there. Jordan beat him in the World Championship final, but Yves has got tremendous experience, and Devonte will have to come out the blocks like Usain Bolt, which he has done, so he's clearly up for it. And
again, body shapes, they're virtually identical, aren't they? And I'm not saying the weight's the same, but the actual distribution of the weight, very
much so. Yeah, they've got very much a classic karate frame there, with shoulders, slim waist and long legs, so very good in that regards. But I think Devonte is heavier than him, and therefore he should try and make him feel his weight a bit more focus on body shots. That's good. That's very good. His timing's good there.
Now both men went to pull the trigger. No score. It's
just probably a little bit too short with a punch there, Malcolm.
And again, Greg, you mentioned in previous rounds how important it is to sometimes, when neither of you is scoring, to maybe come off the line. What do you mean by that?
Just literally just to come off the line, so as soon as the referee calls you, you just drive straight in. It's a technique that has been used since competition karate started, but it's when to use it that's important. I think they're just shaking off a little bit of a first round rust now, and they're starting to now get a feel of the fight and their timing of each fighter. And you can see Tadisi's moving well. He's moving around the mat. He doesn't seem particularly worried. Again, he swept him. He didn't think about sweeping him until he had swept him. You're not going to score like that. If you're sweeping, you've got to follow straight through and believe that they're going to go. Otherwise, you're going to miss the opportunity. So that's 3 points he's missed there. And for a man of his experience, he should really have been following straight back, Malcolm.
There was clearly that pause, Greg.
Yeah,
we could see it from here very clearly. That pause. Then he went down, but the moment was lost.
Too late. You've just got to believe they're going and follow straight through.
But again, warning signs for Devonte
definitely.
When he's coming in.
Well, Tadisi's kicking, he's punching, and he's sweeping. So Devonte has got to maybe think about his stances. If he swept him, maybe fighting to change stance, so that it's unlikely to be just as good sweeping in the opposite stance and fight him that way.
Now, we mentioned the last round being tense. This is even tighter. This is even closer between these two.
Very much so. It is tight. I mean, they are actually fighting very sharp, but they're missing targets again. Tadisi needs to just concentrate, get his points.
Well, that was Devonte's there.
Very good point from Devonte.
Now, when you get through that first round and you go back to the coach, if you were the coach, Greg, what would you be saying? Would you be saying, look, let's sort these timing issues out, let's sort this movement issues out? You've got through that first round. How do you keep their confidence up but sort out the problems?
Malcolm, as a coach, I'm a great believer in less is more. The more you tell the fighter, the less they take on. So you've got to be very bespoke about what you tell your fighter. And sometimes it might just be saying to them, settle down. and then that might be enough for the next round. You know what they can do. They've got through the fight. You want to ensure that they've got their head right first, and then you look for the points. Look for walking them through the points.
Well, Devontae Walters in ascendancy at the moment, and Tadisi really looking to put him under pressure, but again, not quite working at the moment, Greg.
He just seems to be lacking just that last bit of sharpness at the end, Tadisi. Yes, that was lazy, and that was a very, very good point. Devontae anticipated that back leg, that sweep, and just nicked the point. Very sharp.
When you say anticipated, he came off that centre line nicely just to work the angle.
Exactly, but it was a bit of a lazy attempt by Eves there, and Devontae just punished him for it. Again, great kick there from Devontae. Again, it needed to be a little bit longer. He's a long guy. It could have been a longer kick there, but the timing was tremendous.
And as you said, when you look at the quality of this competition, every round's the final.
And what it does, it brings up the fighters, especially our domestic fighters. It makes them raise their game when they're coming up against these top Europeans. And it just enables us to start seeing what talent we have and how much important for us to invest in them. Great fight there by Devon. I'm really pleased with that fight.
And big support for him, Greg. You can hear the crowd. He's brought a lot of people tonight.
He's South London's finest. He's brought them in to the max. They drove straight past Anthony Joshua, straight to here, to the Trotsy to support him. Wonderful.
Beautiful stuff there. So we've got into the next round. And for me, the next round, Jordan Thomas, Jerome Brown, on paper, superb, because these two out of all of them, they both started fast, they both started on fire, and they had got their timing and rhythm right.
Definitely, and to add fuel to the fire, they knew each other as juniors. They knew each other as juniors, so there's going to be some real intensity here. Let's ensure that they've got targeted timing and technique as well.
And we saw there Jerome looking to start, but Jordan's so fast with that lead leg in reply.
He really has. Jordan's got tremendous athleticism. He has got more than his fair share of fast switch muscles, Jordan. Jerome's got to watch that, because Jordan will kick him before he blinks.
Yes, Jerome, he settled well, but he did take a bit of time, whereas Jordan was right into the pocket straight away, wasn't he?
Definitely, he's well prepared. He's buoyed by his dad being here. He's been great training. He's been training at the Team GB camp for the last 3 months. He's good to go.
And when you look at attitude, how much does that play? Because Jordan is at the moment exuding confidence as well. And when you're looking across at him, it's not so much arrogance, but there is that sort of like, I know what I'm doing, I'm really happy here. How does that affect you psychologically?
What it means is that he knows his place. He knows he's a top fighter in the world at his weight category. And he's saying, even at an open weight category, I can show you, I can beat you. Karate is about skill. It's not about weight, it's about skill. And he can fight smart enough to win this, but it's not going to be easy.
But when you say smart, what I like about Jordan is he knows when to put the pressure on. He knows when to turn it up, doesn't he? We saw that in the first round. Turned it up to the point that Steve had to get desperate with those hooking kicks.
So true, Malcolm. What you've got with Jordan is someone who knows how to tailor his fight for the individual he's in front of. He is never bouncing around in front of anybody heavier than him. He won't be there. Yeah, he won't be there. What he has got in Jerome, though, is someone who can sweep you from any angle, no matter what technique you've done.
And
that's where Jerome has got to be at.
And you could hear the crowd respond to that, Greg. They went absolutely mental when Jerome did that.
Because they know what Jerome's like. They know his capability. He can take you down everywhere. So Jordan has to stick to his game plan. He cannot be in front of Jerome. If he's in front of Jerome and hasn't scored, he will be on his backside.
So a warning there for Jordan Thomas. But as you said, these top athletes, they'll adapt, and you hope not make the same mistake again once they've been warned like that.
He's got to do what he does best. He's got to hit without being hit. He can't be in front of his opponent. Jerome is heavier than him. Jerome puts his hands on him, he will take him down. So he has to make sure that if he's in the zone, if he's in Jerome's fighting area, he has scored. He cannot stay there. If he missed, he will pay. So he has to stay on his toes, Jordan. As you can see, Jerome's there going for a sweep. He's always looking for that sweep. Look at him, always.
And it's a different dynamic in this second back because Jordan was coming forward the whole time in the previous back. This time, a lot more lateral movement, a lot more waiting for the right timing. So Jerome, in his own way, has put the subtle pressure on Jordan this back.
Jordan knows that Jerome has got great takedown skills, great timing, and he's committed with them. So he will not miss an opportunity to take you down. So Jordan's got to stick to what he does best. He has to keep moving and steal those points. He has to keep moving, and this is now where he can make the difference. He's got to now, as Jerome's fitness starts catching up with him now, Jordan has got to now start racking up them points. This is now where he can start changing things around in this part of the fight, try and get back into it.
The other thing that I've been amazed at over the years of the 10K Karate Clash is that one of the other attributes has to be a certain level of patience as well, knowing, as you said, when the split-second timing is so vital, the patience to know when to throw that technique as well.
So true. You know, you can't rush in karate. You rush, you'll pay the price.
Even when you're behind on the scorecard, Greg, you've
got to look for your opportunity. Good fight, very, very good fight. Great styles, and what you saw there, Malcolm, was great sort of like contrast in karate fighting. Someone who's got great movement, knows how to take a point in Jordan, and Jerome, great takedown skills, who will unsettle any fighter because they know that he can take them down irrespective of what technique they're throwing.
Jordan had to grind that victory out, didn't he this time?
He did, but he showed his class. He showed the difference that full-time training can make to you, that you can know that you've got enough in the tank to push through.
Now this one's interesting, Greg, because Devontae and Johnny will be both similar stylistically, tall, lean, laid back and loose. They're almost like a mirror image as they line up
Very
here.
much so. But Malcolm, the important thing psychologically is the first point. Your head's got to be in the right space to score that first point. And it can't just be hit and hope. You've got to have an idea how to score. And that was beautifully fast, but he missed his target again. You know, that would have scored because Devontae did not react. That should have scored. And again, very, very important. As his coach, I'll be taking him, getting them pads and getting him to work that kick. Speed is great, target slightly off.
And again, we saw in the first round, I mentioned that patience. That's Johnny Gilmore, isn't it? He'll wait,
Yeah.
he'll look for you to come on, he'll give you the little signals, try to lure you on to pick you off.
That's it. Great composure, but maybe not doing enough there. There's been warned there for not working hard enough and working continuously. So now we're going to see them have to pick it up and look for those points. Again, I'm a great believer. If you can duck, you can punch. You can train yourself to actually punch on most of those aspects where you can duck. It's just retraining yourself to do what used to always be done.
Certain techniques transcend disciplines, don't they?
They do.
When you duck, and a punch is a punch is a punch.
Exactly.
And if you make him miss with the duck, you can bring it to the body underneath.
Exactly, Malcolm. Good exchange there. No score, not clear enough from either fighter. Again, what you're seeing there is good composure from Johnny. Devontae's hunting him down, but you sense that Johnny's always going to have some sort of answer to whatever he's going to come with. So good step through there,
But the other thing I love, Greg, as well, as we go through the rounds, you can genuinely, legitimately feel the pressure build up on the athletes.
Definitely, Malcolm. And they have to ensure that whatever they're feeling is not projected to their opponent, because a good opponent will pick it up pretty quickly. So the job of a good coach is to ensure their fighter stays level and focused, so that no nervous energy compromises their fight. Really important. That's the job of a good coach. Ensure that they are continually steady and focused.
And again, in this group, we have had so many tense confrontations. They're very, very close indeed. Is that just the overall level of competition, or is it that pressure, Greg?
Part of it is the weight category. So we've got a number of them who are very similar sort of weights. but also it's just the experience of the athletes. They're very well experienced. They know how to win. Well, again, good point there. Again, a hook and stab that used to be called in the old days. Touch the front leg, distract them downstairs. Kizamazuki, jab to the face. Beautiful punch. Devante didn't see it. Devante's now got to really start putting some pressure on. Because Johnny is now looking to consolidate that. Good point again. Good timing. Johnny went at the right time, but was too far out there. And Devante just leaned back and then came back in. Great point.
That was a bit of a shame for Johnny. Did all the right things and then just that bit too hasty, just that bit off balance, and Devante immediately responded.
Definitely, and what he was is just a little bit out of distance when he made that attack. So it just fell too short. And all Devante did was ride the technique and come back with a beautiful return Kizamazuki front hand punch. So he needs to keep doing that, Devante. He's got great hands. He just needs to maintain that. Again, well done, Devante. Devante is doing the right thing. He's carrying on fighting. He's not refereeing and fighting. Johnny needs to stay focused. Again, referee's warning him for that.
And this is tight as tight can be.
Good
Greg.
point. Good point there.
Probably the tightest bout so far.
Definitely.
But Johnny Gilmore takes it.
He does.
To meet Jordan Thomas.
Again. Great fight by the pair of them there. Very tight, but Johnny's composure got him through that. He just knew where he was at all times during that fight. He'll have to take up another gear now for the next round.
And now, Greg, for the first time in the 10K Karate Clash history, we have the Super 8 Ladies Karate Cup with Amelia Harvey in the red corner, Kate Kawachinski in the blue, who I think is the twin sister of Stephen.
That's correct, yeah. They've been doing karate since they were very, very young, 4 or 5, very focused fighters, Kawachinskis. Amelia, again, experienced fighters. Both these girls are the best of what Britain has. We've got a great lineup of the ladies in this tournament, and it's going to be good to see. Got the pleasure of training Kate. She's coming back from injury, just getting herself going again, and it's great to see. She's one of the top-ranked WKF fighters, and she's got tremendous ability, winning medals as a junior, and now coming into the senior ranks. Amelia, great engine on her. Great timing, but again, needs to stay focused if she's going to win this fight.
And the Super 8's a sprint. You win your group stage, you're into that semi-final immediately.
Yeah, you're into the hot tub straight away. So there's no room for error there. It's good to see the ladies fight, and it really is. It's just to show the skill, how transferable the skill element is. Kate has got to watch those running punches. She's got to make sure that she keeps all those lead-up punches on target, otherwise she's going to get caught with a counter. So she's got to keep even the lead-up ones, which are like the feints, they must be on target so that she can make the opening for the final punch. Mina needs to get her timing right. Again, she's going second against someone who is moving quicker than her. So she has got to, if she's going to do that, she'll have to pull out Kate and then score. Pull her out. As you can see, Kate is great on her feet, great movement. But again, punching and stopping. She needs to not be there.
Yes, and as I said, history being made with these ladies, the first 2 ladies from this Super 8. Incredible stuff here tonight. And it's just great to see them on such a big stage in this arena. Greg.
Very great and very good. And these two are very evenly matched. Kate needs to be out of there. She's punching and she's staying inside. She needs to actually punch and be away again, stepping through, but missing that target. Amelia needs to change things around a bit. Good point.
Oh, the gum shield goes there.
Good
For
point.
Kate Kawachinski.
Amelia's getting a little bit frustrated. She just needs to settle down, and try and actually work out the fight. She's just fighting. She's not fighting. That's better. Again, Kate is reffing and fighting. She needs to stay in front of the opponent, keep her eye on the opponent. Again, a very bad habit for some of the fighters.
And we've seen that tonight, haven't we, Greg?
Yeah, they're thinking the wrong things. They need to just concentrate on who's in front of them, not who's wearing the grey trousers.
And you mentioned that frustration, Amelia shaking her head there as she went back. She's not quite in the zone, is she?
She is, and she shouldn't be projecting that either. She should just internalise that, because it can just buoy your opposition. Again, Kate, again, good timing, but good and good kick.
And she knew it, Greg, as well.
Did. Beautiful kick.
And that stems from that frustration of Amelia, because she's tending just to rush her work when she gets in close.
Very, very good observation there, Malcolm. She is. And that's what means she needs to settle. She's an experienced fighter. She needs to settle, and she needs to have just nicked those points and just build them up.
Well, Kate goes through, Greg, and by the end, emphatically so.
Great fight by Kate. Little bit messy, but scored the points when she needed them. Great to see. Amelia needs to dust herself down and just get a little bit more focused on fights.
So, the Group 1 final, Greg, you're at the semi-final stage. You're that close to £10,000. And probably the two men that deserve to be there have got there.
I would say they have been the sharpest. I would say that they have been the sharpest in the group. It's going to be very, very, very good fight. Whoever gets that first point, Malcolm, that's what it's going to be about. That's whoever gets that first point. So they've got to think smart. They've got to look for their point, and when the opportunity comes, they must take it.
Well, what I love about this one, Greg, is you've got that laid-back nature almost of Johnny Gilmore and that explosive speed and power coming forward of Jordan Thomas. You've got that contrasting styles there.
Definitely. That's exactly what you have. But what you also have, mutual respect. These guys know that they respect each other. They know each other's ability. And Johnny has no interest in what Jordan's won and what he hasn't won. He just is there because he believes that he's going to beat Jordan. And Jordan knows that, and he's going to show why he's world champion. So it's going to be a tight fight. That first fight's going to make all the difference, that first point. So sit back and enjoy, Malcolm.
And then once you've got through this round, you are just two potential bouts away from life-changing money. And I've talked to the previous winners, Greg. It is life-changing when you're an athlete.
Oh, 10K, it enables you to make some real decisions about what you want to do with your karate career. It enables you to invest in competitions, invest in equipment, invest in coaching, all the investments that you need to take yourself to where you want to go and find out your ability. In the absence of the structures that provide that money, it enables you to actually focus on what you want to do.
Real cat and mouse, this one. So much at stake at this point in the group stage.
Very much so, Malcolm. But Jordan just seems to have good focus there. He just seems to be in the right space. I think the time he's been away with Team GB in Manchester has just given him even that additional confidence that he's always had, just that little bit more. And what he needs to do is maximise that now. That time he's had away, full-time training, he's got to bring that to play. Again. Good fault.
And this time, Greg, he did, like you said, he didn't look to the judges or the referees to say that point scored. He just kept going.
Exactly. It makes all the difference, Malcolm. Just keeps his eye on his opponent, and he just looks to take the point. Okay, the referees are not going to hit you. So you've got to keep your eye on who the person who's got the hands and legs and they're aiming them at you. Good movement there from Johnny. But again, timing that he's got to move out the way, but timing that he's got to actually deliver a technique as they come onto him. So he's got to start engaging and maximising every opportunity. Again, look at the movement. Look out. Johnny's controlling the middle of the mat. Jordan is quite happy moving around. Lovely exchange there. I can't even say who was first there. I'll leave that to the referees.
Well, it looks like they're split as well on this.
Yeah.
There's different
As
flags
you can
being held
see,
up there, Greg.
Yeah, that was very, very sharp, very fast. Let the referees do their job. Fair enough. Good point. Saying too much contact there from Johnny and point from Jordan.
And it's so tight, this one, Greg.
Well, he needs to pick it up now. That's what he needs to do, because this is where you're going to see the difference. Like, when they start fighting, the more you bounce and do nothing, the closer the fight. Sometimes you just need to open up and find out what your opponent's got. Because if I bounced around with my sister for 2 minutes, she might score on me. Yeah, you've got to let the techniques go. That's it. That's what Jordan needs to do. He needs to let the techniques go.
We've seen throughout this group that when the timing's necessary, he finds it, doesn't he?
He does.
That's the one thing that's probably separated him from everybody else in this group. That key moments in each battle.
Very much so, Malcolm. Again, you know, karate competition is about timing. Timing is key, and it's indicative of all aspects of our fight when it comes to karate competition. But it's no good without target. Great going there, Jordan.
The confidence coming through now, Greg.
Very much so. He needs the target. He needs to get that target and timing together.
Yes.
Again, great timing.
Strutting his stuff there when he scored.
Good.
Yeah, goes to the crowd as well. He's loving this, and he's taken it.
Great fight there, Jordan. Well done. Great job there by the referees.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes of the semi-finals and only 2 bouts away from possible 10K. Jordan just proved that I'll say the great Francis, at key moments, you kept it cool and you took the points. Here you are again. So listen, bro, we're all here fighting our hearts out. And Jordan, again, in terms of partner issues, how happy with the way you started this group? You seem to be, as I said, right in the zone straight away.
I had to time.
Jordan, 2 final questions. 1, Group 2 coming up next. Anybody you want to face in the semi-final there, or does it not matter to you? Having said that, you are just 2 bouts away from that possibility. How does that feel?
I'll focus on the first one first. You know, if I start underestimating that person in the semi-final already, I've already lost. So, let's just see what Group 2 does, and then we'll take it from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, one last time for Jordan as he makes it over to the semi-finals.
How are you doing?
Trouble with having the DJ on the side, isn't it? Yeah. They take the speed up for no reason whatsoever.
So we know Jordan Thomas is in the semi-final. To meet him in Group 2, you've got to get through Christoph Pienaar, Mark McMahon, Musa Edwards, Connor O'Sullivan, Sonny Roberts, Dylan Rush, Joby Wilson and Albert Forsyth. Each group, you look at it, Greg, very, very strong indeed.
Oh, great group, great group. We've got the old, and I don't use that term disrespectfully, but Christoph is from is a 90s fighter who's really sharp still. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs. We've got some great new fighters. We've got like Dylan. We've got some big heavyweights in Albert. It's going to be a real interesting match.
And as we saw in Group 1, the key has been timing and positioning to get through.
Definitely. And, you know, when you're talking about timing and positioning, these guys would have been watching some of those fights and realising the importance of their target and their timing. They need to have that. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting fights here. I'm looking forward to it. And that's notwithstanding the fact we've also got the ladies here to fight. Carla's here. I don't know where her fighter is, but Carla's been up in Team GB up in Manchester preparing for the last 3 months and getting the benefits of the training up there. She should be fighting Ashley Harris, so just trying to establish where Ashley is.
And as you said, looking at this group on the match, we've got some big lads there, Greg.
We've got some big old units here. We have Malcolm. We really have. It's going to be very, very interesting. What their mobility's like, one thing's for sure, if they're static and they're fighting the younger fighters, they will be hit. So therefore, they must get their range right.
And I thought Jordan Thomas, very grounded, had his head screwed on. Hey, I've just got to think about my opponent in the semi-final. I can't even think of the final yet. He seems to be on fire at the moment, mentally and physically.
Yeah, he is. As I said, the benefits of that training camp is clear with Jordan. He just seems to have that composure. Not only the composure, he seems to have that fighting fitness and focus. So it's great to see. Great to see him come through. We've now got some really interesting fights here with Christoph. Sonny, former England international as well, competed about 10 years ago, come back onto the mat. Good to see him. And he's going to be the guys are going to be fighting some younger fighters here. So great stuff.
Well, that was the thing. A lot of heads were turned at the mention of Christoph Pienaar. Now, obviously, your history with karate far, far deeper and greater than mine. But the term legend is not used lightly when we talk of Christoph Pienaar, is it?
Christoph Pienaar was a poster boy for karate alongside Wayne Otto for years. He was the French glitterati on his own. So it's going to be interesting how Christoph fares here.
Well, he's facing Mark McMahon in the first round, Greg.
Christoph was known for his incredible kicking ability. He had a taekwondo background, and his legs were right hands. So he's going to take a bit of a while to get going, but I should imagine it won't be too long before we see he put his legs around around his head there.
It's a great story as well. There's not one of us here, as we all only get older, not younger, that wants to see a legend turn back the clock and do well. Whether he wins it or not is a different matter, but you want to think there's hope for everyone. If Christoph Pienaar comes back and does well, there's hope for you, there's hope for me. I mean, I think in that respect, a lot of people are there willing him on.
Wonderful sort of observation there, Malcolm, but there's no hope for me, I can assure you that. Yeah? I will not be coming back unless it's drinking pina coladas around the swimming pool in the Caribbean.
I'll take you on that. We'll go in the group together, mate. Group final, you and me, pina colada.
Yeah, but you know, all respect to Christoph, because the Olympic dream has stimulated him to actually come back into competition karate. He's been teaching for the last 10 years, so 10 to 12 years, and he's just thought, you know what, let's see what I've got. Good luck to him.
And it's been great for the 10K, the talk about it, the look. When we did the draw and we did a little live feed for it, the faces on the youngsters when we said, oh, and in Group 2 is Christoph Pienaar, the jaws just dropped.
Definitely, because they know that Pienaar is a karate legend. So great to see him here. And I'm pleased to see him. I remember him when I was fighting. He was around the same era. and he was always hard work.
Now, for Mark McMahon, he can't afford to show him any respect, though, can he? He's here to do a job.
Well, look, if Mark holds off him, he's going to get kicked in the face. It's as simple as that, if not in the body. So Mark has got to close down Christoph. If he stands and bounces with him, he's going to lose. This is it. He's not meeting him. He's got to meet him. You have got to, with a fight like Christoph, especially if you're not a mobile fighter, you've got one chance, and that is to move forward when he blinks, and then you're going to have a chance. If you go back, you are moving on to his technique. So it's going to be very, very, very good demonstration karate from Christoph.
His legs are still supple, they're still fast. He's defying age at the moment in this opening round.
They are still supple, they're still fast, they lack finish. So they just need that little bit of finish to them, and his techniques, little bit of finish there, which can only come through competition. It's not going to come any other way. He can train as much as he likes, but he needs to get that competition sharpness, which is missing. Just that finish again that he needs.
And it's easy for me to say, sat here, Greg, in the comfort of the best seat in the house, commentating with you. But I do honestly feel that maybe Mark's just paying him a bit too much respect at the moment.
Oh, without a doubt. He's probably had the videos on. I mean, I can't say he has, but watch YouTube. If you watch him, you're going to be worried. So, best thing, as a great man said, head down and forward. That's what he's got to do, Malcolm. Just go. As Christoph moves, just go in, keep it simple, body shot, front hand, and timing. That's what he's got to do. But there is unquestionably a kick on its way.
But at the moment, he's still in this. That's the thing.
He is. Christoph, on the other hand, should keep it simple. Just look to notch up some points. Just look to forget the. I would actually forget the kicks and just take some points to the face and to the body, and then his kicks may well actually become more sharper.
And again, it's a good tactic, Greg, because Mark will be waiting for those kicks as well. He's set them up already. He's seen what he's trying to do. Then if you suddenly switch, that's where you can score the point.
Definitely. So Christoph has literally won that on his work rate, but he won't get away with that next round. He needs to start notching up some points, and this is what I'm saying. His athleticism is still very good, but the finish is paramount. He needs to get the finish to his techniques to start actually having half a chance of beating any of these young guns here.
Well, Musa, you talk about the younger guns. Musa Edwards in the red, Connor O'Sullivan in the blue. The young guns you're just talking about, Greg.
And here they are in all their glory on this platform. Great opportunity for these guys to actually show what they've got straight away. For me, looking from a coaching perspective, I think they're going to be fast, but they're going to be in trouble as they go through the rounds if they're up against anyone who is 70 kilos and more, simply because they are much smaller fighters. They need to be making sure that they are working good technique, working like that, working their athleticism, working their lines, not meeting anybody straight up. So they need to just get the rust out off themselves in this round, and then the next round, as they're going through with the heavier fighters, they need to be on their bike and nick the points.
They are probably the two smallest fighters in the group.
So far, they are unquestionably the two smallest that we've seen so far. And again, it's an open competition. And the adage is, Malcolm, a good big one will always beat a good little one. It doesn't always work that way, but the principle is sound. So these guys have to understand how to beat a good big one, and it's not meeting them straight on. It's got to be angle fighting and using your assets, which is movement, speed.
On the plus side, they've got that confidence, the fearlessness almost of youth as well, though, haven't they?
Absolutely. The less you know, the better. I've always said, just put your head down, get on with the fighting, and then worry about it when it happens. So great to see these youngsters there. Just unload, get on with it. They've got absolutely nothing to lose. What they've got is an opportunity to actually track their careers with some of the best fighters in the world, saying, I fought in this.
At this stage, though, Connor's playing catch-up now, Greg. What can he do?
He is. What he needs to do, Connor, is look for his point, as opposed to fight for his point. He's got to look for it. He's got to look for what he wants to do, not just hope an opportunity arises. He's got to look for it. He's got to be very deliberate, and he's got to think about the stuff he's been working on in training and make the opening. sometimes the younger fighters, they fight on instinct. They don't actually fight on strategy. And then it all goes wrong when they get older, because the fighters that they fight then have more strategy, more experience, and it overrides the youngsters' fighting instinct. So they need to understand that they need to know when to fight and when to get a point.
And I think, as you said, later on in this group, they might find that out the hard way, being honest.
They may well do. They may well do, because they are lighter fighters, and if they are going for points and they haven't scored and they're standing in front of the bigger guys, they will throw them around like a ragdoll. And that can just be as much fatiguing as opposed to point scoring. Sometimes the bigger fighters just do it to tire out and unsettle a fighter. So they need to know, and there are some big boys in this group.
Oh, yes. But at the moment, they've only got each other to focus on. Same size, roughly. But again, Connor, time is running out for him.
He needs to put his foot on the pedal, because Musa now is up on his fights. He's up on points, and he doesn't necessarily feel that he needs to go and get any more. Connor is still sort of fighting as if it's 0-0. He needs to, again, fighting and reffing. What's he doing that for? He's not. He needs to stay on his opponent. Again,
that's another thing we haven't discussed, Greg, but I saw it with Jordan Thomas. Timing in a bout as well, knowing how much is left on the clock, when and where. Jordan seemed superb at that, knowing when to pick up those points.
Very much
so. As you said, when to pick up the pace, because you knew you had to go for it, which seems to have passed Connor by at the moment.
Definitely. But the job of the coach is to give you those indicators and where you are in the fight, what you need to do. Your job as a fighter is to keep your eye on the opponent and to fight. And I think sometimes the fighters can get caught up in thinking about too many different things and lose points. So, yeah, you're right with Jordan, but he's very much seasoned. However, his dad will do the work. Yeah, his dad should be doing his work in regards to timing and where he is, and that's where his ear should be.
Well,
Good
as
fight.
we said, the two smallest guys probably in the group, but for Musa Edwards, the consolation is that was a straightforward victory for him.
It was, yeah, and it's good clean fight. This is going to be interesting. I haven't seen Sonny fight in years, and when I did see him fight, he looked like my man here to the left. So, it's going to be interesting. Sonny again, though, good karateka, good stable coming from Aidan Trimble's initial club. But we've got a very sharp fighter here in Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan Rush, his opponent.
Very sharp, very, very sharp fighter. So, looking forward to see how this pans out. Again, Dylan, that's where you don't want to be, Dylan. As I said, do not be in front of the fighter.
Greg, what were you saying last round with the bigger fighters? If they get the opportunity, they're going to maul you.
They are.
And Sonny looks like the type that could maul you.
Without a doubt. As I said, Sonny knows his assets. He's been fighting for a long time. He's not going to be looking to beat him with speed. He's going to try and beat him with timing and with takedowns. Again, good timing there. As I said, he was a seasoned international. He knows what he's doing.
And as you said, for Dylan, don't be in front of him unless you're scoring your point, unless you're going for it. Then get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Don't stay there.
If he stays there, then he'll be staring at the lights up the top there. As simple as that, Malcolm. He doesn't want to stay there, and Sonny will literally do it as often as he can, irrespective of whether he scores or not. Good timing there from Dylan. Good strong punch, and that's what Dylan's got to do. He's got to go first, get out, keep it simple, and I personally would have said to him as a coach, keep your legs on the floor until you get some points. Because if you're kicking and you haven't scored, you will end up on the floor.
Almost just like that, Greg. As you said that, he threw the right leg, it was almost caught, and he was almost taken down.
Very much so.
Where basically what you're saying is at the moment, bread and butter points.
Definitely.
Bread and butter points.
Definitely. Notch up the points, maximise your assets, score those points, and then you can start going for the 2 and 3 pointers. But initially, you've got to look at your opponent and say, I know I'm faster, let me go and get the point. Just utilise your skill. That's it. Good. Again, that's exactly the way to fight. Very smart.
And something you said earlier, coming off that line immediately.
Yes,
which he did beautifully there.
Of course he did, because what he's getting now is an understanding that actually if he goes first, right distance, he will score. Again, he's trying to kick there. He needs to keep it the same. If he scored with the same technique, keep it going until that person has an answer to it. At the moment, he's got no answer. So he just needs to keep it simple. Then reverse punches are working well. They're just nicking those points And Sonny's going to have to come, and he just needs to pick him off as he moves. Again, that's what he needs to do. Again, here we go. So once Sonny gets his hands on him, he'll just put him on the floor anyway.
Yeah, you don't want to be there with Sonny.
You really don't. You really don't.
But it's the same with Christoph Pinner. It takes a lot to come back. We mentioned about the young athletes, the young guns coming through. There's one thing to be said about experience. There's another thing to be said about coming back against these young lads that have got so much testosterone, so much athletic ability, so much speed.
Malcolm, that's such a good observation again. I mean, the reality is that the fighters today are athletes as well as fighters. Whereas back in the 90s and 2000s, there was great athletes, but the karate was also very, very, very strong. These guys now are able to pull out techniques that gymnasts would struggle to do. And this is what the difference is. Their athleticism is incredible. And if you're not training like that, and if you haven't had that upbringing in how to score the points, you're going to struggle.
Well, Dylan Rush, he got through there, Greg. He did well in the end, as you said. Made a couple of mistakes, but he got those points when he needed to, and he does go forward.
I don't doubt for 1 minute that his coach weren't telling him to keep it simple and just to notch up them points. I should imagine that's what you're saying, and that's what he did well. So well done to Dylan, and good to see Sonny back on the mat.
Now we have Joby Wilson and Albert Forsyth.
Again, stark difference there, Malcolm, in the way. Albert is an England international at heavyweight, and when you say heavy, Albert has not got a shred of fat on him. He is lean, mean, fighting machine. However, what we've got in Joby is a good athlete, and Albert is going to have to keep his distance and only get anywhere near Joby when he's ready to score, because Joby's going to pick him off if Albert is not up to it. He's going to pick him off. As you can see, good movement already. Albert is very, very static fighter. He's looking to throw you around, and this is what he does well. But Joby has to maximise his skills. That's it. That's what he's got to be looking to do. Again, that's where he doesn't want to be too often, in front of Albert.
In terms of stamina, though, and focus, it's a hard way to have to battle through the rounds, Greg, because he's always got to be focused. He's always got to be on his toes, getting the points, just like we saw in the last one between Sonny and Dylan. It's a long time to stay focused and getting the job done.
Malcolm, again, fitness doesn't win competitions, especially at this level. Composure does. Their composure is important, because that level of intensity for all these rounds has to be maintained all the way through. And so if it isn't, that's where it can sometimes fighters can fall short. They're good for the first couple of rounds, and they cannot maintain that level of intensity. And that's what you can see Jordan does well. He's able to maintain a level of intensity for his category and for his ability. He's able to do it.
So Joby Wilson walking down Albert Forsyth, and he's remained very mobile, Joby. He's remained very patient, and he's remained very elusive, Greg.
Very much so, and that's what he needs to do. He doesn't want to be standing in front of Albert. Albert, as you can see, is a strong fighter, but Joby needs to break those angles and attack break those lines and attack from an angle. That's what he's got to do, and most importantly, he's got to go first. He doesn't want to be countering Albert.
Well, he went there first that time. Albert countered him and knocked the gum shield across the mat.
Exactly, yeah.
But neither scored, so it's still supremely balanced here.
Definitely. But as I said, there must be 20, 30 kilos in this fight. That's the beauty of karate there, is that you can have it is about skill first, the ability to beat an opponent who is heavier than you through your skill set, understanding that the attributes you have and making them work for you.
And that's what you said, the attributes and the rule system. If this was straight boxing, you'd have your money on Albert all night, wouldn't you?
If it was straight boxing, they would be arrested. Yeah, because it would be a complete and total mismatch. Okay? It would be a total mismatch, Malcolm. But what you have here, because we're talking about points and skill sets and athleticism and timing and technique, this is what distinguishes karate from other combat sports.
Joby has his nose in front now. That patience and that perseverance has paid off at this moment.
It is. And so he's just got to be smart now. And being smart isn't trying to sweep Albert. Yeah? He's got to be smart. He's just got to meet the timing. Get that timing right. Good. And that's it. Albert's got to come. But he doesn't need to give him too much pressure. That's good. Again, don't look at the referee, look at Albert.
And this is where it gets hard for someone like Albert, where, as you said, he's got to chase. He's less mobile, he's more static, but he's behind on points. He's got to chase the back.
He's got to move. He's got to go. But what Joby's got to do is just literally keep him on his toes. Stay on his toes, move out the way. He doesn't need to go for Albert. The clock's on his side, and make Albert work. But he's got to have a timed response ready all the time. So he needs to keep focused.
What it does mean, if it stays this way, we have seen it through the group, the smaller, younger men coming to the fore if it stays like this in this last back.
Very much so, Malcolm, because they're fighting smarter. It's simple as that. They're fighting smarter. The bigger fighters are not actually working out how to beat these smaller guys. And it's great to see that these smaller guys have worked out that they have to move around more. They can't be static, whereas the other guys are not trying to cut them down, force them to fight at their pace.
What you're saying is Sonny would have been far more comfortable and vice versa if it was Albert in his first group. If those two against each other, they'd have loved that.
They could have just stood in front of each other and got on with it. Very much so, Malcolm. Excellent. Great point. Again, that's how they're going to win, because the smaller guys, they have to win with speed. Again, again, good point there. Okay, that one not scored, but again,
oh, that seemed strong. I mean, as you said, the technique previously, the kick from Joby was absolutely beautiful, and the timing was right, because again, we talk about timing. He knew Albert had to chase the bag.
Yeah, but what Albert's doing right now is that he's trying to use his weight against him to actually wear him down and slow him down. But this guy is resilient, and he's strong, and he's focused, and he's sharp. So Albert might have to change tactics, because he's not going to unsettle this guy at all. Great fight by Joby. Albert is now on the defensive, whereas actually he should be picking the fight up and looking to score points. Good fight by Joby. Really, really pleased with that. One of the smartest fights I've seen this evening. Really, really good spirit.
And it is the smaller guys now, Greg.
Oh, they are leading the charge. It's good to see. I mean, this is fundamentally, the 10K is fundamentally, Malcolm, a open weight competition. Open weight historically has been one of the hardest competitions to win, whether domestically or internationally, because invariably the average man is over 11 stone. Yeah, so when you get the athletes in there, they're sharp, they're strong, they invariably over 75 kilos, and if you're in there as a lighter fighter, it's not going to be easy. It really isn't. So we've got Musa here, haven't we?
No, we've got the ladies back next, I think they're saying.
Have we?
Our ladies semi-final, which, as you said, should be Carla Burkett and Ashley Harris.
Didn't see Ashley earlier. I hope she's okay.
Oh, they're going straight semi-final. So this is Carla Burkett, Kate Kawaczynski for the semi-final, yes?
No, that's not Kate. Not too sure who this is. Who's this here? Ashley. It is Ashley Harris.
So Carla Burkett, Ashley Harris.
They're just going to get rid of the earring there. Lovely earring, but no good in the air at this stage of the fight.
To face Kate Kawaczynski in the semi-final.
Carla again, seasoned international, European medalist as a junior. She's just come down from the training camp in Team GB for the last three months. tremendous ability, and also Jordan's training partner when training with Willie Thomas in Luton there. So
and you
great
said how
experience.
important the first point is. She went straight out there.
Very much
shot
so.
straight in, Greg.
Again, showing the benefits of that camp and how it's worked, how it's worked her understanding of the game. Good again, great timing.
And that literally was all about timing. Ashley was forging forward, but she waited.
Bang, in.
Pulled the trigger at the right time.
Definitely, Malcolm. Great fight. And again, she's firing there. Yeah, she pulled that reverse punch to the head. Good timing. Bounce back and then straight back in. Ashley needs to just settle down now and try to claw those points back. Again, very, 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 very committed attack, but the rolling punches weren't on time, weren't on target. She's not going to get too far with that.
So Carla Burkitt really started on fire. Her timing, her movement, and as we said, it's so key to know when to pull the trigger. So far, she's got that right.
Definitely, and she's confident. She's got the centre of the mat. She's good movement there. Look at that, good head movement, great timing, staying on it. Not looking to the referee until the referee calls Yame. Great point. Really, really good movement from Carla. Good to see.
And it's sustained pressure, isn't it?
It is. She just hit her then, Ashley, when Ashley didn't expect to get hit because she just carried on fighting.
Now they're saying the contact was just a bit too excessive for the point there.
Well,
Greg.
they're the refs. I'll bow to their greater knowledge. Again, Carla, stay face up. Don't go breaking off. Ashley needs to just settle and look for her points now. That's it, good. Head kick was good. Okay, maybe not.
But we're still in the same scenario where one of the karateka is forcing the other to chase the game.
Definitely. Stay up, stay face up, Carla. She's still looking at the referees too much. Look at her hands really low. Maybe she's been seeing too much of them taekwondo guys up there in Manchester. Yeah, because she's training with in the same environment as them. She needs to get her hands up. Look for the points, and be able to respond to whatever Ashley does. Again, if your hands are low like that and you're looking to punch, then you've got a long way to go to score. Just get them up. It's not complicated. Good point. Again, she breaks off beautifully, Malcolm. What she does is as they attack, she changes stance, breaks the line, and then attacks at an angle. Really good. And again, great kick. She's really on fire.
The reason for this, Greg, and I don't want to sound nasty about it, but because she's managed to force an air of desperation in Ashley with the way Ashley came forward with those mute, fast punches, but all out of range and out of time.
Very true, Malcolm. What she's done is shown her the difference in competing at this level under pressure. Great experience for Ashley, but Ashley's had a rude awakening about top-level international competition and how you're not given a chance. If you don't take a chance, you won't get one.
Now, Christophe Pina went through last time as the aggressor, but you said he's got to get back to basics that serve people so well.
Definitely. He needs to have more finish on all his techniques, hands and legs. More finish. Okay, he needs to have more finish. He needs to have his target bang on. His timing's not too bad, but the target needs to be better and the finish of the technique.
And again, now he's not with Conor O'Sullivan. You can see the problem Moosa Edwards fights in terms of height and size and everything else here, Greg.
Definitely. Christophe is at least 80 kilos, and Moosa must be no more than 65. So Christophe is an experienced fighter. He'll know how to work that. Let's just hope that the finish of the technique is there.
Yeah, we've given him the benefit of getting that first rust out of his first back, getting the timing back, getting everything else back. And like you said, he is looking to work the hands more in this second match.
He has to. He needs to just get some confidence, get in some points, and then from there, build on it, and then his legs will come. He needs to just use his hands, get the points, and then work his legs.
Oh, Moosa with the kick, Greg.
Beautiful kick. Beautiful kick. Now that should fuel his confidence now. That should fuel Musa's confidence. Christoph needs to now just look to get those points back, Malcolm. Needs to get them points back, and he should be looking to get those one by one. Just focus on getting those points. Yeah, that's what he needs to do. Look to get them points, Christoph. He needs to really, really focus on being just call it a clinical point. Because if he doesn't do that, he hasn't scored a point yet. It's his second fight. He needs to get that point, Malcolm.
I mean, as we said, a genuine, legitimate karate legend. But when you looked at this 32 athletes here, it was a big ask.
It was a big ask, and I think, that's the beauty of sport. The beauty of sport is Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. It's things that you don't expect to happen, and they come about, and you think, right, it might not pan out how you expect, but I'm going to pay my money and go and watch because it could just go all right. Yeah, again, his timing is there. Beautiful there, timing there with Christoph, but just missed the target. Beautiful spinning, turning hook kick.
Yeah, again, going out in style, isn't he, Greg?
He is. Trademark technique of Christoph's. Sometimes it can be a bridge too far, but you need to find out. And I think that's what Christoph wants. He wants to find out if he's got it in the tank. This is no doubt this tournament's not going to determine that for him. He needs to do a little bit more prep work to find out himself. But mat time's important. He's getting the fights, and so at some stage he'll make a decision about where he is and where he wants to go. Whoa.
Yes, both men spinning at the same
Very
time.
much so,
there.
yeah, that was almost out of a film.
That's why you heard the crowd, the oohs and the ahs. But for me, Musa Edwards, very clever strategy this back.
Very much so. He's not intimidated by Christoph. He scored his points, scored a great three-pointer. He outkicked the kicker, and now he's just waiting out the clock. He knows that he's got this fight in the bag. He doesn't want to do anything stupid.
That kick was like throwing water on fire, wasn't it? Saying, I know what you're famous for, but boom, look at that.
Exactly. He's making a statement. He's saying, my instructor always used to say to me, the best points to score in a kicker is a kick. Yeah, and it's so valid, that point. The kickers are not used to being kicked unless you're taekwondo. So, great fight by Musa. Great to see Pinner back. Good luck on his journey to the Olympics. Hoping that he gets there. But if he don't, at least he'll know. All respect to him. Great fight from Musa. Well done.
Now, Greg, it's been incredible already, but we're now turning it up a notch. You can continue on pay-per-view on Facebook, and you really don't want to miss this. It's really beginning to bubble now. So from now right through to the ladies' final and the men's final, you can follow us on pay-per-view on Facebook, and it really is worth following, isn't it, Greg? It's been superb so far.
The last hour has been tremendous. The quality of the fighters has been exceptional. There's been few surprises, but what there has been is incredible technique and timing. For those of you guys who've just joined us, good evening, and you're going to have a good